Yeah, determines the meaning of the source program, source string. Here the source string is the generated output from the syntax analyzer. And see here, everything is an whatever we generated the structure, everything is in correct format. But while coming to the real values like an 60, here we're defining it into where giving the clear information, correct information that the data type it is int to float. The data type it is int to float. That's what we are giving the meaning by performing the semantic analyzer. Everything should be in an correct meaning format. Everything should, it determines the meaning of the source string means whatever we whatever we defined, that everything should be in an correct format. So id1 is equal to id2 plus everything is an identifiers here, and we are giving a separating identifiers with them by giving the sequence numbers of 1, 2 and 3. And here the identifiers are an external nodes and the operators are an internal nodes. And the 60, the number at the place of 60, the real value 60, there itself we are giving the meaning that here the data type it is an int to float data type, int to float data type. And after performing the semantic analyzer, this is the output that this is the generated output that we get from the semantic analyzer. And this is taking as an input to the intermediate code generator. This is taking as an input to the intermediate code generator. And now from the structure we are generating an intermediate code representation in a 3 address code format. 3 address code format, that means here we are using some temporary variables, using a temporary variable, storing the structure in a temporary variables. T1 is equal to int to float of 60. Here we're defining clear definition of what the real value it is. Integer to float. The data type it is an integer to float data type of 60. We're storing this into an temporary variable number 1. And now this is multiplying with this 60 is multiplying with an ID3. That means we are again taking another temporary variable T2. T2 is equal to ID3 into already this 60 is stored in a temporary variable T1. So ID3 into T1. Now this ID3 into T1 is stored in T2. ID3 into T1 is stored in an T2. And now what the T3 is ID2 plus this thing is already stored in an ID3 into 60 is already stored in an T2. So ID2 plus temporary storage T2. Finally ID1 is equal to and here what the last temporary variable is T3. So ID1 is equal to T3. And after representing in 3 address code format, after generating an intermediate representation, we can check it out by doing a reverse engineering. How the reverse engineering process, you see here ID1 is equal to T3, right? In the place of T3 I am replacing this ID2 plus T2. In the place of this T2 I am replacing ID3 into T1. In the place of this T1 I am replacing into 2 float of 60. What it means is, finally, without changing the meaning of the code, meaning of the input, meaning of the source string, the given source string is ID1 is equal to ID2 plus ID3 into 60. That's what we are getting here after performing the reverse engineering. Then it is in a correct representation. So now it is taking as an input to the code optimization. See, the code representation in the both cases are same. See here in the second phase, the hierarchical structure in the both phases are same. What we are doing, from the generated tokens phrasing into a structure, from the phrased structure giving the meaning of the structure, giving the meaning of it, and from the semantic generating an intermediate code representation. And from this we are applying an code optimization technique. See here I'm having 4 lines of the code. These 4 lines are minimized into 2 lines without changing the meaning of the code. Here itself we improve our efficiency. How we improve the efficiency? How we improve the efficiency? By minimizing the lines of the code. At the place of generating the intermediate code representation, there we are having 4 lines, and while coming by applying the optimization technique, we are having 2 lines. But here also we are doing the reverse engineering technique, checking out id1 is equal to id2 plus what the t1 is stored with an id3 into 60.0, and I am replacing this id3 into 60.0 here in the place of t1. Then finally I am getting an input source. So after code optimization also, the meaning of the program should not be changed, but we need to improve the efficiency of the code just by minimizing the lines of the code. This is the definition of optimization. That's what we are applying here. And after getting the output, minimized lines of code from the optimization, now we are going to generate an code generator. Now we are going to generate an target program by using some generation algorithms, simple code generation algorithms. And here this is the machine level instruction format, machine level language code, where LDF and STF are nothing but an floating point data transfers. That means load data, store data. LD is load data and ST is and store data. And mullf, addf, all these are the arithmetic operations in a floating point. Arithmetic operations in a floating point. See, now what I am loading here is in the register 2. I am taking register 2. I am placing this ID3 in and storing the ID3 in an register 2. That means loading identifier 3 in an register 2. And by using the multiplication operator mullf, what I am doing ID3 into 60, where the ID3 is, it was already stored in an R2. So R2 comma 60.0, it is a floating point. That's why we're representing like this. Now again taking an register 1, new register 1, R1. Now again I'm loading this ID2 in an R1. Loading ID2 in an R1. Now I'm adding, by performing the addition operation, I'm adding R1 comma R2. R1 in the sense ID2. The ID2 is already stored in an R1 ID2 comma R2 means, see here, the R2 register consisting of ID3 into 60.0, ID2 into 60.0, that means ID2 plus ID3 into 60.0. And after performing the addition operation, the R1 comma R2, the R1 register consisting of ID2 plus ID3 into 60.0. Now finally this is going to be stored in an by using the code STF. STF is nothing but a store data transfer. By using this, we are storing this in an ID1. So finally ID1 is equal to what the register R1 is having, ID2 plus ID3 into 60.0. This is the machine code. This is the machine code that we are calling is an object code in a machine level language. That's what we are going to generate by using the code generator. This is the target program. This is the source program. Source in the form of position is equal to initial plus rate into 60, and the output is in the form of machine level code by using some instruction sets, by using some registers, by using some data transfer registers, by using some arithmetic operation registers. All we are using in a machine level language. Instruction sets we are calling here. And this is the process of compilation that is going to be carried out by using various phases. And the input in the form of an high level language and the output in the form of an machine level language. I think you all understand how the phases of compilation is carried out by using these 6 phases, by taking an input in the form of an high level language and the output in the form of an machine level language. See, I am briefly in detail describing with an example. In the next class, we clearly understand by seeing the context of each and individual phase. Seeing the context of each and individual phase, then we can clearly understand what it is. But here I'm showing it out with an example, how the implementation is going to be carried out by taking an input in the form of an high level language and getting an output in the form of a machine level language. That's it. No need to worry about this. In the next class, in detail explanation by seeing the phases, each and every individual phase contexts.